Hey guys, Dissident Magic here, and let's talk about the results from Pro Tour Ixalan. So if I head on over to Net Decking Central, and the worst thing to happen to Magic the Gathering ever, MTG Goldfish, they have all the statistics about what to play if you're a net decker, basically. Thanks, Goldfish. So if you look at the tournament results, I think they got like the top 100 listed or something like that. Lot of energy. That's an understatement. If you look at the top 32, I think it's like 24 of the decks, so that's like 60%. But there's more to it than this, right? Oh, pitchforks and torches, we need to ban energy, we need to stop it, which honestly people have been saying for like months. Well, not so fast here, because if you look at like the other decks that won, and you just look at the deck list for energy, which there's a couple different colors, but still, and you just say, well, that looks powerful, that looks competitive, that looks like it might beat it. And, you know, it's not like literally the top 16 were energy. I mean, a lot of the top 100 were energy, but not necessarily the top 16. So that does indicate that energy was beatable. And there's one huge other factor here. How many people showed up with energy? Because the best way I can put this is if you take a fistful of darts and throw them all at a dartboard, some of them are going to land at a good score, like near the bullseye or some high points. It's just sheer probability, you know, taking out the other factors is just you had more chances at it. So if you look at the top cards brought to the tournament, you've got Attune with the Aether, 56% of all decks. Whoa, but that's, you know, that's color fixing. I put that in a non-energy deck. So let's go to number 2. Okay, Rogue Refiner, 56.35%, literally the exact same percentage as Attune. So if you're running Rogue Refiner, you are running energy. I mean, there's no other use for that card. I mean, that is quite literally all it does. It's not even that good of a creature. The number 3 card was Negate, which, you know, okay, big surprise there, duh. And then number 4 was Long Tusk, obviously. Number 5 was Harness Lightning, obviously. Number 6 was Servant of the Conduit. Not so obviously. That's actually surprising. Then Whirler Virtuoso, duh. Abrade, okay, another control spell, duh. And then Bristling Hydra, that one's annoying. That's probably the most hated card in all of Energy because Marvel's already gone. And then number 10 was Glorybringer. So, and then as far as just top creatures, Rogue Refiner, Long Tusk, Servant, Whirler, Bristling Hydra, Glorybringer, the Scarab God, Hazoret the Fervent, so now we're getting into all that Red Rush garbage, and Bomat Courier and Rampaging Ferocidon. So the whole bottom end was basically just like some kind of Red Rush. So Red Rush seems to have been about 20 to 25% of people showing up with it, and then 50 to 60% of people combined were playing energy. So think about that. What does that leave? That leaves like 25% or less of people playing anything else at all. So if you just look at just the top 64 and say, well, energy's the best. No, just more people showed up with energy decks. I mean, you could have the best deck in the world and get mana screwed too many times and lose. I mean, it's not like you have an automatic pass to the top 8 if you're running the best deck. I mean, there is some variance there. So first place, Sultai Energy. Oh boy. Second place, White Blue God Pharaoh's Gift. What is that? That's a $150 deck. What the heck? I bet before the Pro Tour it was about a $100 deck. I mean, these cards in here, I honestly have trouble looking at the deck list, figuring out what it actually does. It's some kind of like loopy looking thing with almost no win condition. I don't know. I didn't see any of the plays, so that probably would have helped. And then we got a whole bunch of like tied for 4th, tied for 8th. So there was literally no 3rd, 5th, 6th, or 7th place, which is weird. But 4th place, number 1 was Mardu Vehicles. Yeah, Vehicles is still doing well. And then number 4, Ramunap Red. Okay, that's 25% of people showed up with that. Okay, and it's a good deck because it'll take you by surprise if your deck is remotely slow. And I already don't like that because it just doesn't let you play your deck, basically. But I don't like the deck, like, performance-wise, because if you lose the coin flip or the die roll and you don't go first, your chances of winning just got flushed down the toilet. I mean, there is no way to overstate how much of a disadvantage it is if you're playing Red Rush and you don't go first. So that alone, that just makes it unreliable, but a lot of people did pretty well with it on the bottom of the top end, I guess I would say. So anyway, back on topic, Jeskai Approach was 8th place. I mean, so just stall Approach of the Second Sun, a bunch of spell looping and almost no backup win condition. That deck is just garbage because you could just name jam it, remove it, hold a negate. I mean, Jeskai can obviously stop your negate, so it's like this spy versus spy nonsense, but it's this binary condition. They win or they don't. They get the card or they don't. They scry into it or they don't. You can stop it or you can't, and I don't go for that. You guys know I don't like secondary win conditions. So we got energy, red rush, energy, blah, blah, blah. Mono white vampires. A mono white vampire deck came in almost like, what, 12th or something like that? What? And I think if you cross-index that with how many people probably showed up with mono white vampires, the power of that deck cannot be understated. So congratulations, Wilson Hunter, for building something off the beaten path and then almost winning the whole tournament with it. And then we got, a bunch of red, a bunch of energy, blah, blah, blah. Then blue-white cycling with also 8 wins. I mean, that ain't bad. And I've seen that deck in action. It's actually pretty good. Then right under that, Travis Wu's deck. Let's just talk about Travis Wu for a second. So he was running blue-black God Pharaoh's Gift. And I think out of the top 100, about 5 people were playing completely drastically different versions of God Pharaoh's Gift. It's kind of all in, but it's also kind of really powerful. So when Travis Wu in his video says, oh yeah, net decking isn't evil, everybody should do it. Well, that's funny, Travis. You never do it. You always show up to a tournament with whatever you think will actually win against what other people brought to the tournament. Not, oh, here's the best deck in the world. 1,000 people showing up with energy, and I'm not kidding. That's about how much it probably was. Well, I'm going to outdo them. Based on what? Luck? I mean, assuming that they make the same amount of mistakes as you, which is nearly 0, it literally would be card draw luck. That's stupid. You got to bring what beats everybody else, not try to beat them at their own game with their own deck. That doesn't work. Mirror matches are stupid. So he brought a drastically different deck than anybody else and did exceptionally well with it. I believe 8 wins on day 1 and 7 wins on day 2. That's almost a perfect record. That's insane. So going down to 7 wins on day 2, which is still like nearly a perfect record. Just think about that. Actually, no, I think to get to day 2, you don't necessarily need 8 wins on day 1. I don't give a crap about pro play. I don't even know how it works at a basic level. Anyway, somebody had green-white aggro, just straight up green-white creatures and spells that are good with some control. That's it, just a bunch of good crap thrown into a deck, and he almost swept the tournament with it. Then Grixis control, because that's always huge. I mean, any kind of control spam deck is pretty hot right now. Somebody else had Mardu vehicles. Get this, okay? Andres Prost, not sure if that's how it's pronounced, mono black aggro, okay? Mono black. At a professional level Pro Tour, he brought mono black and almost won with it. And honestly, looking at that deck list, that is some hardcore crap. I would hate to play against that. It looks so powerful. And the sideboard is just like hell on earth. Like if you think it got him, ooh, wait for the sideboard. And so he's playing against all these like 3-color, 4-color energy, and he's beating them all with mono. A couple people were still playing Pummeler. I mean, Pummeler didn't get worse. I mean, it lost a couple boost spells and stuff, but it certainly didn't get that much worse. A couple more people playing mono white vampires, God Pharaoh's Gift with different colors, another Pummeler person, and some people just straight up playing blue white control, because blue white control is always classic, and it always has creature support. It always has nearly the best control, if not the best. So just look at the sheer variety of decks that did exceptionally well, and then compare it to the sheer number of people who showed up with energy. I think people are exaggerating a little bit when they say energy's the best deck in the world that's completely unbeatable. No, it's just a bunch of stupid sheep showed up to the tournament and played it. That's all that means. And now, okay, it's not like, Vehicles or Red Rush where one tournament they did well and the next tournament 0 people running that deck made it to the top 16. I mean, literally Energy won the tournament and also came in 4th and it also came in 3 of the 8th places. So it's not a bad deck. It's not like it's unbeatable. I mean, evidently. So the deck power variety, the number of tier 1 decks might actually be like 7 or 8, just looking at these results. Now that said, no matter how you shake it, 0 people are playing cards from Ixalan. Okay, all the Ixalan mechanics, hell no. I mean, maybe a 1-off, 2-off kind of thing, or maybe, oh, this kind of fit on the curve and it has Explorer, yippee skippy. Oh, I killed something and I get a treasure. Wow, it's not like people are all in treasure. And actually, Treasure Marionette didn't do very well at all, which I'm very happy about, because I hate that deck. But everybody's just playing the set that isn't selling very well right now. I wonder if that's connected. Wonder if there's a link there, everybody. So keeping that in mind, will Wizards step in and attempt to ban something? Oh, it's a tough one. I'm not going to say unequivocally yes, standard is broken, because that honestly doesn't look that broken right now. But there's two candidates, in my opinion. The first would be the Scarab God. Yes, ban it. Ban it, ban it, ban it. I don't care. It's in multiple decks. The fact that people would put 2 of it in energy decks, or even more in some cases, and kick out things that actually generate or use energy, that should be all you need to know about the power level of the Scarab God. When you can drop your deck's main mechanic to throw this in and it improves the power of the deck, it's too good. And it's at the point where if people are playing those 2 colors, they are playing the card, period. I mean, it's basically on par with Smuggler's Copter. And literally everybody was playing that because it was colorless. You could throw it into anything, and then you just get to draw 2 cards every turn, basically. Who wouldn't want to do that, especially non-blue decks, because that's kind of blue's thing. So if you can do it while also not playing blue, yeah. So the Scarab God is just self-contained unbeatability. He doesn't need to work with anything. He doesn't care what the rest of your deck's colors or mechanics are at all. He just comes out and ruins the game. Any card described that way needs to go. So unequivocally, yes, it needs to be banned. Will they ban it though? Considering it's like 40 to 45 bucks. We'll just say 40. So if you're playing 4 of, you just lost $160 in value. And that is the only counterpoint to them banning it, because the Scarab God was in 41% of all decks that showed up to the tournament, regardless of if they did well or not, I believe. I think that's what those stats mean. Those might be only the stats from the top 100 decks. I'm not sure. Either way, way too many people are playing it. It's way too good. It is virtually impossible to stop or remove. Well, stop, I mean Essence Scatter, but remove, oh my gosh. Once it's on the battlefield, you lost. It's just ramp to 5, throw it out, and there's nothing they can do other than exile it, or I mean, you could drop it to -10 attack power. Doesn't matter. It's basically out there for its 2 abilities. Its first ability is insane. Its second ability feeds into the first one and is beyond insane. And if you throw it in a deck with Anointed, it's game breaking. So absolutely 100% yes, they need to ban the Scarab God. There is no other opinion other than, oh, this would really piss off some people because we're going to cost them a lot of money and we're going to get some backlash. Well, yeah, but sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid off. Or, here's a thought, Wizards, don't design a card like that in the first place. Which, if you're wondering if Wizards has learned their lesson, yes, they said that they're hiring 2 people to basically stop that from happening. They didn't say Scarab God, they effectively in a roundabout way were referring to Aetherworks Marvel, and they did specifically say the Felidar Guardian combo, FYI. So they just said, like, overpowered, degenerate, bad stuff, unfair stuff, stuff that ends up getting banned. We hired 2 people to oversee the entire card design process to stop that from happening. Well, those people, if they worked for Wizards at the time, would have stopped the Scarab God. I mean, obviously. He actually would be, like, hyper overpowered, but reasonable if he didn't go back to the person's hand the same turn that he got destroyed. That is utterly ridiculous. Playing around him is something people shouldn't have to do. It's just, I can't go on more about how much I want this card gone and how much I hate it. So will they ban it? No, they're going to wait till Rivals comes out and then see if it's still popular. I mean, I can basically read Wizards' mind at this point. They will wait until it's the biggest, like, unstoppable problem and they've lost tons of customers and tons of money, and then they'll fix it. That's at least their track record so far. I mean, I'm just stating it. Do I think they should do that? No, but do I think they're going to do that? Yeah. Now, as far as energy, are they going to be smart enough to say, okay, well, literally 50 to 60% of people showed up with an energy deck. So you look at the top 100, oh, look, it's a bunch of energy. I mean, duh. Will they see through it and say, no, there's other things that can win? Maybe, maybe not. I'd lean towards yes, because they really pay close attention to statistics from MTGO and from tournaments, and they really care about pro level play, which is ironic because 99.9% of the customers will never participate in it and don't care about it. You ever notice they really cater to pro play a little bit too much instead of their actual customer base? That's always pissed me off. So energy, will they do something about it? I think that they have a pretty good motivation, and it's a little something called money. They are selling nothing from Ixalan. Ixalan is dead. It was worth nothing. I lost like $1,500 out of a $2,200 order. Yeah, it beat Amon-Ket on the crapometer. Nobody is playing any of the cards. Nobody wants any of the cards. And so to go along with that, Rivals doesn't look like it'll sell very well, unless it's like another Aether Revolt where it takes energy from a playable fun gimmick to, oh my god, it can't be beat. So if you look at Dinosaurs, Vampires, or Treasure, whatever the major mechanics are, and Rivals, it takes it up to an insane level, then we've just got the same problem over again for the 4 sets that come after it. So that wouldn't really solve anything, but they know what cards are in it. So that is going to influence their ban decision. Or they could just wait and see, because they've already lost the money from not selling Ixalan. Would sales pick up now if they were to ban energy? Yeah, I think so. So is it still recoverable? Are they still running it off, or do they have the option to run off more boxes if there's a huge run on boxes when all of a sudden everybody plays Pirates because energy's gone? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about their printing process. But will they strongly consider a Scarab God ban or an energy ban after the release of Rivals, or very, very close to it? Yeah, definitely. So I don't think we're going to see anything for at least a month or two. And that's a shame, because I really think that getting rid of energy and getting rid of the Scarab God would help. Although Scarab God #1, energy, it just kind of would be nice, but it's kind of like right now it's a we'll see kind of thing. I'd love to see the results from like a tournament like a week from now, like a really major event or something, because I think energy is going to go down a bit. I think people see these other decks and they're just sick of playing energy, and they know it's only kind of good. Like it's really good, but it's not perfect. And then you look at other stuff that's been winning and you're like, that's competitive. So the smarter players will not go to a major tournament or event or even play online energy. But most people are kind of dumb. They're kind of sheep. I mean, there's no polite way to say it. So what would they ban if they were going to ban something? You could just say, okay, the best energy generation engine. Well, I mean, what is that? Rogue Refiner? Aether hubs that you could kill the easy fixing and make their colors backfire once in a while? That'd be kind of mean. Everybody seems to be leaning towards Long Tusk Cub, but you can blow that up. I mean, the obvious answer to me is Bristling Hydra. Get rid of the Hydra. I mean, that thing, it can't be stopped. It just sits there and just wins the game while eating spells that are meant to remove it. I mean, at least with the Scarab God, I can use Kefnit's Last Word or something and steal it. I'll take control of it. But Bristling Hydra, you can't interact with it, and it gets bigger every time you fail to interact with it. And considering all these decks have virtually limitless energy, they always have the amount of energy that they need, the one card by itself, the Hydra, just cannot be stopped. And okay, the Scarab God basically can't be destroyed through a destruction spell, so they're about on par on the annoyingness. But yeah, the Hydra does seem like it's a big problem. The only thing is, Long Tusk Cub was in 50% of decks, and the Hydra was only in 46%. So I don't know if that really means anything too significant. I mean, especially with the Hydra being mono, so it's more likely to go into other stuff. But just to feel it out, I would say that's the one I would get rid of. So let's talk about a third deck. I got to throw this in at the end. Ramunap Red. Okay, it doesn't even let you play your deck, especially if they go first. And then you win the middle game because you go first, and then they win the third game. I mean, that's just how all these go. It's just rush, 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 win in the first 5 minutes, yay. Well, I mean, newsflash, welcome to Red. That's what the color does. It uses haste and high attack power creatures that don't cost much. It's either burn, burn, burn with spells, or it's like rush, rush, rush with creatures, or some kind of weird mix sometimes. So what went wrong? Why? Because that you know, it's so basic. It's like, oh, blue, I'm going to counterspell everything. Mono blue. Yeah, that works, because that's like blue's thing is counterspells. Well, why do people never just win with mono blue counterspells? Because it's not good enough. I mean, oh, just white lifelink and that's it. Or like all white first strike, all white, you know, anything. White by itself can't usually just sweep and win. Oh, green, nothing but giant creatures and ramp. It's okay. It's just none of these ever run away and become like a huge portion of the top results. They're just your cliche, basic, beginner level stuff. So why is Mono Red Rush like winning Pro Tours? Like, what the heck? What went wrong? I'll tell you what went wrong. On Crop Crasher went wrong. They took red creatures and made them blue by making them unblockable. And I would maybe say Earthshaker Kenra too, because that card's a 2/1 haster. Certain creatures can't block. I mean, so if you tried the traditional anti-red stuff, which is throw out a wall, throw out a 1/1 Death Toucher, and just stall out the game until they get burned out on cards, and then you could just defeat them in a later turn. That doesn't work, because you could throw out all the creatures you want, they can't block. And if they can block and they are annoying, they'll just remove them with, like, you know, a Braid, Shock, Lightning Strike, whatever. So they basically just drop creatures onto the field and swing away and then get to 20 and win. And that is like so incredibly degenerate and annoying. It's too efficient, it's too good, and your blocking creatures mean absolutely nothing. And that's why red creature rush never works, is because if you throw out a good enough blocker or two, they just stall out and they can't do anything. I mean, a 0/5 wall would stop anything, but now you've got, oh, they can't block, oh, they can't block, they can't block. Well, great, thanks, that's awesome. And then these also kind of go into like a mid-range where they just super swarm with Bomat, or they get out like, you know, Hazoret or something. And then you've even got like 2 different types of lands that are typically played where they can just, you know, sacrifice the land and deal like 2 damage to you or whatever. Oh, it's just too good. It's too perfect. So that deck, just so people can have some breathing room to play a turn 5 or 6 deck, and not, you know, determine the winner of the match with a coin flip at the beginning of it, which is how red works, I would ban Crop Crasher. I would even maybe leave in Earthshaker. Just take the deck down a tiny little peg. It's still realistic, it's still playable, it's just not oppressive and virtually unbeatable. And that's what it is right now. So yeah, I think they should definitely do something about red. And plus, red is primarily from Amonkhet, which they're also not trying to sell right now. They're trying to sell Ixalan. So if I woke up tomorrow and Wizards banned all 3 of those cards, Scarab God, the Hydra, and Ramunap, or I mean, that's the name of the deck, literally Crop Crasher, I think Standard would be very fun. It would be very fair and just like balanced and appropriately powered and everything. It would just be fixed. So the only counterpoint is, what does Wizards think will happen in the future? Do they deem it necessary to be fixed right now, or will Rivals fix it on its own? And how annoyed and angry would the community be? And those are some pretty big disincentives to ban anything. So do I think they're going to actually issue a triple ban and cripple basically everything that just won the last Pro Tour? Probably not, for PR reasons. Should they? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. Yes, 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 a million times yes. Yes, they need to. That would fix Standard. They broke it. Scarab God was a mistake. Crop Crasher was a mistake. Pretty much everything I said in this video was their design mistake, and they need to take responsibility and clean it up. I mean, there's no other opinion other than, oh, the community's going to be mean to us. Well, get over it. You broke it. You fix it. Now, that said, I've seen Standard in a much worse state than this multiple times. So is it that broken? Is it like they emergency need to fix this? No. It's just, holy crap, were these cards designed poorly? Just on principle, they need to go. So I'd maybe give the State of Standard a 4 out of 10 right now, and it looks like if you wanted to play God Pharaoh's Gift, mono, white vampires, black aggro, I mean, evidently you can get away with playing that. So there is a variety. It's not just, oh, dominating energy. It just kind of looks like it. So Standard really isn't as bad as anybody thought. So you got to learn to read these results correctly. Or if MTG Goldfish would just delete their entire site and stop giving people bad information, that would be awesome too. Yeah, I'm not the first person to ask them to do that. Wizards was. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got a lot of insight out of it. And the Ultra Silver lining, this is actually like a gold and platinum lining at the end of this one. My new deck, Kid Ramper, beats basically everything that was popular at the last Pro Tour. I mean, I've proved it online. I have about an 85% win percentage with it. It actually kind of loses to Red Rush, which is why I really want that one gone. But Energy, not a chance in hell at beating that one. So look that one up. You can get it built for under 50 bucks. So if everybody's a net decker at your F&M, just build that and crush them all. See, that is above a silver lining at the end of this crap story. So you guys and your platinum line clouds, have fun at F&M tonight, and I'll see you guys next video.